The void hummed with an unnatural silence. Across the vast emptiness of space, thousands of ships from a down-seeing different alien species formed an intimidating blockade. Their hulls glimmered under distant stars, while massive capital ships floated in the center of the formation like metallic leviathans. Each captain and their crew stood on edge, anticipating the final push, the attack that would crush the infamous enemy once and for all. But then it appeared. At first, the sensors barely registered its presence. It slipped out of the shadows, a dark blot against the backdrop of stars, undetectable by the standard systems used by the Galactic Coalition's finest fleets. It was the Black Ship, a human warship, shrouded in myths and feared by every military strategist in the known galaxy. It was as if the ship devoured light itself, a sleek, matte black destroyer of unknown class. No one knew exactly how large it was, only that when it appeared, chaos followed. The admiral of the Vray-Car fleet, a towering insectoid creature with a sharp exoskeleton, clicked his mandibles nervously. His antennae twitched as his officers relayed data to him, but the black ship barely registered on their displays. "Where is it?" he growled, frustrated at his fleet's lack of visual confirmation. Suddenly, a transmission crackled through the silence, hijacking every channel. "This is Captain Reyes of the Black Ship. You have 1 minute to stand down or be obliterated." The voice was calm, human, and terrifyingly cold. It carried a weight, a certainty that unnerved the seasoned generals of the Alien Coalition. They had fought many battles against humans before, but this was different. Aboard one of the alien command ships, General Kyrix of the Thalna Empire, a species known for their arrogance and tactical superiority, scoffed. His eyes narrowed as his taloned fingers drummed on the control panel. "Human bravado," he muttered. "Their ship cannot stand against the combined forces of the Galactic Coalition." Kyrix ordered an immediate scan of the Black Ship, but as the systems focused on the dark vessel, something strange happened. The ship seemed to glitch, its form blurring like a mirage in the heat of a desert. A second later, their scanners failed, and the massive Coalition fleet's instruments showed nothing. No ship, no threat. Panic rippled through the fleet's command networks. Captains began shouting orders, frantic attempts to regain control of the situation. But the Black Ship's jamming signals were flawless, perfectly calibrated to disrupt everything, from basic communications to targeting systems. And then, without warning, the first strike came. It wasn't a barrage of missiles or lasers, but a single pulse. A blinding flash erupted from the Black Ship, streaking across the stars like a spear of light. It hit one of the Coalition's heavy battleships, a towering hulk of armor and weaponry, larger than most cities. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a deafening boom, the battleship split apart, not from an external explosion, but from the inside out. The Black Ship's weapon had cut through its shields, armor, and core, reducing the mighty vessel to a cloud of debris in seconds. General Kyrix's eyes widened in disbelief. "Impossible," he whispered, watching the debris float lifelessly in the void. His heart raced as he realized the scale of the threat before them. This is not warfare," he hissed. "This is slaughter." Before he could react, the Black Ship launched again. It moved through the battlefield with an eerie grace, picking apart ships one by one. Each shot was precise, every hit lethal. The Coalition's mighty armada crumbled in the face of this single ship. Their numerical superiority meant nothing. On board the Black Ship, Captain Reyes watched the battle unfold with detached precision. His crew operated in sync, well-trained and experienced. They had faced similar odds before, and every time, they had come out victorious. The Black Ship was a marvel of human ingenuity, a ship designed not just to fight, but to win. "Admiral Vray-Car's ship is in range," one of his officers reported, her voice calm amidst the chaos. Reyes nodded. "Target their command vessel, full power." The Black Ship's main cannon hummed, gathering energy. The Coalition forces scrambled, attempting to regroup, but it was too late. Another pulse of light, this one brighter, deadlier, tore through the flagship of the Vray-Car fleet. In an instant, the alien admiral's ship disintegrated into a fiery explosion, its massive form disintegrating into countless fragments. In the final moments of battle, Reyes opened a secure channel to the surviving ships. "This is your only warning. Humanity does not bow to fear. We are not prey. Leave now." and you might live to see another day. For a moment, the entire fleet frowned, teetering on the brink of annihilation. Then, one by one, the remaining alien ships began to retreat, their formations breaking apart as they fled into the safety of deep space. Captain Reyes exhaled, watching the remnants of the once mighty fleet scatter. His hands gripped the railing before him as the adrenaline slowly faded. "Stand down from battle stations," he ordered, his voice steady. The black ship drifted through the wreckage, a silent predator in the void. "Another victory for humanity," Reyes muttered, eyes scanning the stars for the next threat. The galaxy had been warned humans were not to be trifled with. And the black ship would always be there to remind them. The black ship cruised through the void, leaving behind a trail of wreckage from the annihilated fleet. The hum of the ship's engines was the only sound on the bridge, a stark contrast to the chaos of moments before. Captain Reyes stood at the command center, his posture relaxed but his gaze sharp as he surveyed the starfield ahead. "Status report," he commanded, his tone measured. Lieutenant Aria Voss, a tactical officer with piercing green eyes and a calm demeanor, tapped a few commands on her console. "All systems are green, Captain. Shields are holding at full capacity, and no structural damage. We used about 5% of our primary energy reserves, but the reactor is already compensating. Ammunition stock is untouched. We're ready for any further engagements." Reyes nodded, satisfied. The black ship had proven its superiority once again, and now the galaxy would spread word of the encounter. Fear was a powerful weapon, one humanity wielded with precision. "Good work, Lieutenant." He glanced at his second-in-command, Commander Harris, a seasoned veteran with a scar running across his jawline, a reminder of a skirmish from long ago. "Harris, any sign of regrouping from the coalition forces?" Harris scanned his display, frowning slightly as he reviewed the data. "Negative, Captain. The remaining ships are fleeing to their home systems. No indications of reinforcement, at least not in this sector." Reyes allowed himself a brief smile. "Looks like we made our point." The tension on the bridge began to ease, and crew members exchanged relieved glances, but Reyes wasn't one to let his guard down. They had won this battle, but he knew the war was far from over. "Prepare for long-range scans," he ordered. "I want to know if any other factions are mobilizing. We don't sit idle just because we've won one skirmish." As his officers set to work, a soft chime echoed through the bridge, a communication request. "Incoming transmission, Captain," said Ensign Keller, the communications officers. "It's encrypted and coming from," she paused, looking puzzled, "from the Terran High Command." Reyes raised an eyebrow. High Command rarely contacted them directly, especially during combat missions. "Patch it through." The view screen flickered, and the image of a stern-faced woman appeared. Her uniform bore the insignia of a Terran admiral, and her icy blue eyes focused intently on Reyes. "Admiral Karos," Reyes greeted her, offering a respectful nod. "Captain Reyes," Admiral Karos began, her voice crisp and authoritative. "You've done well. The Galactic Coalition won't soon forget the black ship. However, this is no time for celebration." Reyes frowned slightly, but kept his tone neutral. "Understood, Admiral. What's our next mission?" Karos leaned forward, her expression darkening. "Intel from our deep space reconnaissance teams has revealed something unexpected. We've intercepted communications between several high-ranking coalition members. They're planning a counteroffensive." "Yes, but that's not all." "Go on," Reyes urged. "They've made contact with an entity known as TimeE Wooden." A hushed silence fell over the bridge. Even Reyes felt a chill run down his spine. The Warden was a myth, a legend whispered across the stars. No one had ever seen it, but the stories painted it as a being-part machine, part organic, created by an ancient civilization long lost to time. Supposedly, it guarded the core worlds of the galaxy, a protector of untold power. Reyes met the Admiral's gaze, his voice level but curious. "Are you saying the Warden is real?" Karos nodded grimly. "More than real, Captain. It's waking up, and the Coalition is seeking its favor. If they manage to align themselves with the Warden, humanity's edge in this war could be in jeopardy." A heavy weight settled in Reyes' chest. He knew what that meant. The black ship was powerful, but an ancient entity like the Warden, that was an entirely different level of threat. "What's our objective, Admiral?" Reyes asked, his mind already calculating. Your mission, Karos continued, her voice like steel, is to locate the warden before the coalition does, if possible, neutralize it, at the very least, gather intel. We need to understand what we're dealing with before the enemy can use it against us. Reyes straightened, his expression resolute. Understood, Admiral, we'll find it. The Admiral gave a sharp nod. You have your orders, Captain. High Command is counting on you. Karos out. The screen went dark, and for a moment, the bridge was silent as the weight of their new mission settled over the crew. Reyes turned to his officers, his face set in determination. You heard the Admiral. Plot a course for the core system's deep space reconnaissance protocols in effect. Lieutenant Voss quickly keyed in the coordinates. Course plotted. Captain, it'll take us through several uncharted regions of space. Reyes walked to the front of the bridge, looking out into the vast expanse of stars. Somewhere out there, the warden waited. It was a threat they had never faced before, and he knew the mission ahead would be the most dangerous one yet. Prepare for FTL jump, Reyes ordered, his voice steady. We're going hunting. The hum of the ship grew louder as the engines charged for faster-than-light travel. The black ship was about to dive deeper into the unknown, into the heart of what could either be their greatest triumph or their ultimate doom. As the countdown to the jump began, Reyes glanced at Commander Harris. Think this warden is as bad as the stories say? Harris shrugged, his face unreadable. Only one way to find out. The countdown reached 0, and in an instant, the black ship leaped forward, vanishing into the stars. The stars stretched into long, shimmering lines as the black ship hurtled through the infinite void at faster-than-light speeds. The crew aboard remained focused, each member at their station, knowing they were diving into a mission unlike any before. They weren't just going after another fleet or alien adversary this time. They were hunting a myth, a legend that had been whispered about for millennia. Captain Reyes Saturday in his command chair, his fingers resting lightly on the armrests. His mind raced as he tried to reconcile the stories of the warden with the hard realities of war. They dealt with planetary bombardments, armadas, and alien technology, but this was something different, something older and far more dangerous. If the stories were true, the warden wasn't just a weapon, it was a force of nature. Time until we drop out of FTL, Reyes asked, his voice breaking the tension on the bridge. Lieutenant Voss glanced at her readouts. 6 minutes, Captain. We'll be entering the coordinates just outside the anomaly zone. Commander Harris, standing next to Reyes, cleared his throat. That anomaly zone is one of the most uncharted regions in the galaxy. Even the coalition has avoided it for centuries. We're flying blind out there. Reyes nodded. Blind or not, we have to get there before they do. The silence that followed was heavy. No one liked the idea of venturing into an area so unknown, but no one on this ship was afraid either. Fear didn't exist on the black ship after the things they'd faced. As the minutes ticked down, the hum of the FTL engines began to shift, signaling their imminent exit. Reyes stood up from his chair, straightening his uniform. All stations, prepare for reversion to sublight speeds. The ship jolted slightly as it dropped out of FTL, the stretched star lines snapping back into pinpricks of light. Before them was a vast region of empty space, darker than the surrounding cosmos. It wasn't just a lack of stars, it was as though the stars themselves had been swallowed up, leaving a gaping void. Scans, Lieutenant Voss, Reyes ordered. Voss walked quickly, her brow furrowed as she analyzed the data coming in. There's a massive gravitational disturbance ahead, Captain. It's consistent with ancient records of the warden's supposed territory, but it's off the charts. We're detecting strange energy readings, but nothing conclusive. No ships in sight. Reyes stared at the void ahead of them. It was too quiet, too still, like the calm before a storm. Take us in slowly, maximum shields, and keep weapons hot. The black ship moved forward cautiously, its sleek, dark form cutting through the blackness like a blade. As they approached the anomaly zone, the ship's sensors began to flicker, struggling to make sense of the chaotic energy fields surrounding the area. Getting some interference, Captain, Voss reported. Whatever's out there, it's messing with our systems. The deeper we go, the worse it gets. Reyes clenched his jaw. Maintain course. We're not turning back now. Suddenly, a soft beep echoed through the bridge. drawing everyone's attention to the communications console. "Captain," Ensign Keller said, her voice tight with disbelief. "I'm picking up a signal. It's weak, but it's coming from inside the anomaly." Reyes raised an eyebrow. "A signal? What kind of signal?" Keller adjusted the controls, isolating the frequency. "It's an old distress code of human origin. Looks like it's been repeating for centuries." A cold chill ran down Reyes' spine. Centuries? How the hell? Before he could finish, the ship's lights flickered. A low, rumbling noise reverberated through the hull, as though something massive was shifting around them. "Shields just spiked," Lieutenant Voss called out, her hands flying across her console. "Something's out there." Ray spun toward the forward viewport, eyes narrowing. In the distance, the darkness began to twist, forming a shape vague at first but slowly becoming more defined. It was enormous, easily the size of a small moon, but it wasn't a planet or asteroid. Its surface was sleek, metallic, and lined with glowing, ancient symbols. As the black ship moved closer, the form became clearer. It was a construct, a fortress only built not by human hands, but by something far older. "The Warden," Harris whispered, his voice barely audible. Reyes felt a knot tighten in his stomach. There it was, the myth, the legend, the thing entire species had feared for thousands of years. But what was it? A ship, a weapon, a guardian? Before he could give the order to retreat, the black ship's systems surged violently. The power flickered again, but this time the entire ship groaned as though something had latched onto it. "Something's got us, Captain," Voss shouted, her eyes wide as her console flared with warnings. "Energy signatures are spiking, her systems are being locked down." Reyes gripped the armrests of his chair. "Full reverse. Get us out of here." The engines roared to life, but the ship barely moved. It was as if an invisible hand was holding them in place, dragging them deeper into the void. A deep, resonant hum filled the air, growing louder with each passing second. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. It was as if the construct was waking up, aware of their presence. And then, without warning, a voice filled the bridge. It wasn't human. It wasn't even alien in the way they had encountered before. It was something more, something ancient and incomprehensible. "You are trespassing." The voice reverberated through the ship, sending a shockwave of fear through every crew member. Reyes felt it deep in his bones, but he forced himself to stay calm. "Identify yourself," he demanded, though he suspected he already knew. "I am the Warden," the voice responded, cold and emotionless, "guardian of the core, protector of the ancient order. Your kind is not permitted here." Reyes straightened. "We're not here to fight you, we're here to learn." There was a long pause before the Warden spoke again, its voice vibrating with an overwhelming presence. "Knowledge comes with a price. Are you prepared to pay?" Reyes exchanged a glance with Harris. He knew the stakes, knew that turning back would mean surrendering humanity's only advantage. But moving forward, it could mean their doom.